Achim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
In your insert, Yadonai, Yadonai, Hine Matov.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Hine Matov.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Umanai.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Umanai.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Shevet Achim.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Shevet Achim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Let's light up the world, oh brothers and sisters, together with peace and love. Bring light to the world, oh sisters and brothers, and sing Hine Matov.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Matov.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Hine Matov.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Umanai.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Umanai.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Shevet Achim.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Shevet Achim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Let's light up the world, oh brothers and sisters, together with peace and love. Bring light to the world, oh sisters and brothers, and sing Hine Matov.
Join us. Yadonai, Yadonai, Jibin Matov.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Hine Matov.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Umanai.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Umanai.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Shevet Achim.
Yadonai, Yadonai, Shevet Achim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is when family is together to dwell together. It is good to be with you on this Shabbat. It is good to be with the Shabbatones on this Shabbat who fill our Shabbat with so much music and harmony and joy. And we want to create space for all the things you bring into this room, for the joys that you bring in, for the hardships that you bring in, for the light things and the heavy things. There is room enough for all of them here. We are going to continue by welcoming Shabbat first by doing a thing we don't do often enough, which is turning off your cell phones, your pagers, the things that ring, jingle, and buzz for a few hours just to be present to what happens in this room. And we are going to turn to page 2 for the lighting of the candles and invite up Nancy Aaronkrantz to lead us in those prayers. What? It's all good. I have it.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Pray with us on your insert.
May the glow of these candles bring peace to the world, and the spirit of Shekinah surround us. May the blessing of our day fill our hearts with love. And Shabbat Shalom be here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu אשר קידשנו במצוותו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת, להדליק נר של שבת.
When we were planning the Israel trip for our high school students that went last summer, I was looking at the schedule and I saw that we were scheduled to visit Machane Yehuda, the market in Jerusalem, on Friday at like 2 o'clock. And I said, we will not be doing that. Because I don't know if you've ever been to Machane Yehuda, but it is uncomfortably crowded and frenetic on like a Tuesday. But Machane Yehuda on a Friday is terrifying. It is with everyone trying to get their chicken and their vegetables and their stuff for Friday night dinner and pushing their way to the front. The Israelis don't believe in lines. And it's just... I wouldn't go within 10 miles of Machane Yehuda on a Shabbat, on Erev Shabbat. Because there's this thing that happens in Israel, and you don't notice it as much here, but you do for sure notice it when you live in Jerusalem or in Israel, that there is a storm before the calm. In order to prepare for Shabbat, in order to get ready for this day where everything's going to be closed, where you're just going to focus on what's truly important, on family and finding yourself and on prayer and on your Judaism, there's a lot of work to be done, cleaning and setting up and buying stuff. And so the whole country is sort of frenetic until the sun sets, and then there is this calm. And I experienced that as a rabbi because I'm often running around on a Friday getting everything ready and preparing for tonight and tomorrow morning, and then all of a sudden I come here and there is this calm. And what I wanted to point out as we prepare ourselves for Lecha Dodi this evening is that that calm takes preparation, that Shabbat takes work to get ready for it. That it doesn't just happen because we will it to, it happens because we've readied ourselves. And maybe you did that work this afternoon, and maybe you're doing that work right now, and if you haven't yet done that work of preparing yourselves to be ready for Shabbat, you've got 4 verses of Lecha Dodi to do it. And that's enough, I promise. To try and let go of whatever it is that is holding you down and holding you back. To try and let go of whatever it is that is stopping you from being present, so that even if you have to turn your life back on with your cell phone when you leave this room, for this next hour where we are together, you can be in that calm of Shabbat. So sit with these verses of Lecha Dodi, which are found on page 20. Find the calm you need to find, and then hopefully you're ready by that last verse, because when we get there, we're going to rise, we're going to turn around, we're going to face the Sabbath bride as she enters the room. We're going to greet her with all the calmness we've prepared ourselves for. Page 20, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור ושכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. לראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבת תחילה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בארץ קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Verse 9, we rise to welcome the Sabbath bride.
בואי
Shalom, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובשמחה,
תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
You ready? Good. While we are still standing, let's take a moment to greet each other. Turn to someone you know or someone you don't know. Introduce yourselves. Wish them Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, just wait.
We're going to remain standing as we continue on page 146. Page 146 for Baruch Hu.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam, 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 le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
We pray together in the Hebrew on page 147. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechochma poteach she'arim, uvidvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, bamishmirotehem ba'akira kirtsono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. We pray responsively on the next page. In each age we receive Torah and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world. In each age we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment the knowing heart is filled with wonder. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto Le'olam, Le'olam Va'ed.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, v'dibarta ba'am, v'shivtecha b'meitecha, u'lechtecha b'derech, u'shochbecha u'vkumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all, yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound. Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul. When will redemption come? When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves? Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom. Page 152.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא
In our next prayer, Hashkivenu, we ask God to spread over us God's Sukkot Shlomecha, the Sukkah of peace. And anyone who has ever been in a sukkah knows that that is a weird request. Why would we ask for God's peace to be like a sukkah, temporary and fragile and open to the elements? But I think it's a reminder that peace, like all of God's blessings, like hope and like progress, are fragile. And if we do not pay attention to them, if we do not tend to them, if we are not constantly trying to rebuild them, they will fall over. We are praying for the blessing of peace, the blessing of God's protective presence, knowing that it will always be incomplete and that the work is ours to maintain it. Hashkivenu on page 153.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamidenu shomreinu.
The Amidah begins on page 155. Please rise as you are able.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Eloteinu v'Imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah El Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, L'Ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Zohomech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bagivurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Minchayei hakol. Atah kadosh u'shimcha kadosh, U'kedoshim b'chol yom yehalalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, El HaKadosh.
Please be seated. Pray with me in the middle of page 160. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way as this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. A friend and teacher of mine texted me today, and she said she's having a really rough day. The flight that she was supposed to catch to get somewhere she needed to be was delayed, and her husband was in a car accident, and thank God everybody was okay, but that was really stressing her out. And she said to me that she said, I kept saying to the person who was with me things I was grateful for, and I got to 20 things, and if I hadn't have been making that list, I know I really would have lost it. Gratitude has the power not to shape the inputs, but to reshape the outputs. It doesn't change the hard things in life, but it does help us find a different way to respond to them. The Modim prayer on page 162 is a prayer for gratitude. We'll read a little in Hebrew and then a little in English, and then we'll sing Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace, and then it will be time for silent prayer. And as I have said many times before, if you don't know what to say during silent prayer, make a list of 5 things you're grateful for today. I promise it will change, if not your life, then at least your day. Modim anachnu lach she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu leolam va'ed. Tzur chayenu magen yishenu atahu ledor vador. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise. For the desire in us which leads to us to work for peace, we are grateful. For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being. For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lechodot. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol Shalom, ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Tasim leolam, tasim leolam.
We take a few moments now for silent prayer and gratitude.
Say shalom, shalom b'ramah, u'ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oh, say shalom, shalom b'ramah, u'ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. U'ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Oh, say shalom, shalom b'ramah, u'ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael
We come now to a prayer for healing, for wholeness, for strength, for courage to face the difficult, for courage to face the unknown, for courage to face that which seems hopeless. We pray for the ability to be strength for each other when those we love's strength is failing. In our community, we're holding in our hearts Ann Altschuler, Barbara Berkowitz, Bradley Borden, James Brummett, Marcia Capon, Bill Kursch, Richard Dana, Jay Empel, Jeffrey Feinstein, Alan Garber, Sarah Janes, Beverly Kovnat, Ed Laufer, Don Laufer, Rena Laufer, Lawrence Levy, Michael Marcoux, Sharon Martin, Ruth May, Liba Reisman, Neil Robert, Ryan Michael Russo, Nathaniel Shumsky, Roger Williams, Thad Zaremba, Ari Theodore Zeitman, Yisrael Moshe ben Ruta Masha, and Chena Rachel Mindel bat Aaron Vitzipora. The words of our prayer for healing and strength and courage are found on your handout this evening.
Avraham, Yitzhak, veYaakov. Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing, and bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mi sheberach avotenu, mi sheberach imotenu. Hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well.
A few brief announcements on this Shabbat. Everything I'll share with you, you can find greater detail in your Shabbat handouts. Gratitude to the Sisterhood for providing this week's wine and challah. I would point your attention to a few exciting events. The foremost expert on Jews in the diaspora and on Israel and diaspora relations, Dr. Yehuda Kurtzer of the Shalom Hartman Institute, will serve as our educator for the night this coming Tuesday, May 21st at 7 p.m. I cannot more highly recommend. If you've never had the opportunity to learn from Dr. Kurtzer, you should come. He is incredible. Our classics group of 50s and 60s will be having its post-Shabbat dinner next Friday, May 24th, following services. Please RSVP so we can order accordingly. Make note that next Saturday, May 25th, we will offer only our sanctuary worship service. And finally, please plan to join us for an informative program reflecting on the current state of Brown versus the Board of Education on Wednesday, May 29th at 7 p.m. In a memorable scene from the book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Alice has to get through a tiny door. She finds a bottle of potion labeled "Drink Me," and she shrinks down to the size small enough to fit through the door. It's only then that she realizes she has left the key on the table, which she can no longer reach. She finds a little box of cakes labeled "Eat Me," and one makes her grow gigantic. I want to conduct a thought experiment that reminds me of Alice's experience in that strange room. Like the potion, it has the power to make us feel very small. But then afterwards, it is like the cake, with the power to make us feel very big. The thought experiment is called the Fermi paradox. Not the Frummy paradox, that's a different thing. The basic question first posed by the nuclear physicist Enrico Fermi is this: if there was intelligent life in the universe besides on Earth, shouldn't we have seen evidence of it by now? Or put simply, where is everybody? The thought experiment goes like this: the universe is almost incomprehensibly large. We live in a little corner of one galaxy called the Milky Way. In our galaxy alone, there are somewhere between 100 and 400 billion stars. And in the universe, there are as many galaxies as there are stars in the Milky Way. To put that in something resembling perspective, for every grain of sand on Earth, there may be 10,000 stars out there. Now, not all of these stars are like our sun, and only some of those suns have Earth-like planets that could support life, but some estimates come to something like 100 billion Earth-like planets in the observable universe. And our planet is relatively young as compared to the universe, which is 14 billion years old. On this cosmic time scale, we are a bit of a Johnny-come-lately. And as a species, we're a blip on the cosmic timeline, and yet we're already starting to explore our solar system. We are not far, says the Fermi paradox, from making the kind of technology that could reproduce itself and spread across our galaxy. A process like this could take 3 or 4 million years, which might seem like a long time to you, but for the universe is the blink of an eye. Do you feel small yet? So the Fermi paradox says this: if there are so many sun-like stars with so many Earth-like planets, and it does not take long to develop civilization or the technology to spread across our galaxy, and a lot of those planets are a lot older than ours, then why have we not observed anything out there? We should have seen one satellite, one starship, one piece of space trash from a civilization much older, much more advanced than ours. To the layperson living on Earth in a mind-bogglingly vast universe, it may seem unsurprising that nobody has buzzed past us in their spaceship, but to Fermi, it is surprising that someone hasn't. Run the numbers, and you'd expect our galaxy to be teeming with life. So where is everybody? The solutions to the Fermi paradox are the topic of term papers, not sermons, but the simplest answer is this: maybe we are alone in this vast universe. Maybe life is far more rare, far more unique than we would think. Maybe the whole 14 billion year history of the universe, in it, we are the first species to evolve the ability to even ask this question. I don't know about you, but that is a thought like the giant gulp from Alice's shrinking potion, which is what sent me in search of cake. This week's Torah portion, Parshat Emor, contains a seemingly innocuous phrase that becomes more puzzling the longer you look at it, like a disappearing Cheshire cat. God declares, "You shall not profane my holy name, that I may be made holy by you in the midst of the Israelite people, who I in turn sanctify." On the surface, it's simple. Do not profane God's name, and through God we will be sanctified. That's fairly straightforward. But it's that middle phrase that is a puzzle. That I may be made holy by you. How can we possibly affect God's holiness? Isn't God holy irrespective of our behavior? For an answer to this question, we turn to Pesikta de Rav Kahana, one of the oldest collection of Midrash, which teaches, "You are my witnesses, says the Eternal, that I am the one, before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be any after me, as said Isaiah. Thus says Shimon Bar Yochai, if you are my witnesses, then I am the one, the first one, neither shall there be any after me. But if you are not my witnesses, I am not, as it were, God. Pasikta posits that the way we contribute to God's holiness is simply by being witnesses to God's presence in the universe. Without humanity to notice and acknowledge God, God would not exist. As Rabbi Joe Rook's report points out, this is the kind of theology you would expect from a modern post-Holocaust theologian, not a text that's nearly 1,500 years old. If you are not my witnesses, I am not, as it were, God. The Pesach deposits that in a place where people forget God, God stops existing. The paradigmatic expression of Jewish faith is Shema. It is supposed to be said when you lie down and when you rise up. We say it at every service. Hear, O Israel, the Eternal is our God, the Eternal is one. Were you to look for this sentence in the Torah itself, it would be easy to locate because it's written in a peculiar way. The two of the letters are bigger and bolder than the rest. The last letter of the first word, the ayin of Shema, and the last letter of the last word, the dalid of echad, stand out above their neighbors. Put these two letters together and they make the word aid, which is Hebrew for witness. Every time we recite Shema, we are bearing witness to God and God's uniqueness in the universe. And maybe that's what we have in common, humanity and God, our uniqueness. Just as there is only one God, there might only be one species in this whole vast universe capable of acknowledging God. And without us bearing witness to God and God bearing witness to us, all of this might cease to exist. So here's the thought that might make you feel big. Throughout all of time, and across all of space, human beings might be the only system the universe has ever created to bear witness to itself. 10,000 stars for every grain of sand on earth, and we might be the only ones who have ever looked up to try and count them. A universe full of nearly infinite wonder and beauty and mystery, and if we do not take note of it, it might as well not exist. Why unravel the deepest questions of existence? Because if we don't, nobody else will. The universe, just like God, is counting on you to notice it. Might thinking on this scale change how we treat our planet, how we treat each other? Thinking on this cosmic scale might remind us just how fragile, how precious life is. One of the solutions proposed to the Fermi paradox is something called the Great Filter. I love that name, the Great Filter. The idea is that as a species progresses along the evolutionary path of its development, it will eventually come upon a cataclysmic event that will prevent it from developing any further. Maybe the species uses up all its planet's resources. Maybe the species ends up destroying itself with its own technology. The scary question is whether the Great Filter lies behind us and we are an unprecedented exception to a cosmic rule, or whether the Great Filter still lies ahead. As global temperatures rise and the leaders of nuclear nations taunt each other on Twitter, we are called at least to consider the possibility that avoiding the filters that lie in our future will require unparalleled effort. But thinking cosmically doesn't just help us to tackle global issues. It's just as important on the smaller scale of our daily lives. What if you were to look at the cashier at the grocery store and think, you and I are among the only beings in the whole universe who know how lucky we are? I wouldn't recommend saying this out loud, but I wonder if it would change your interaction. I wonder if when you got cut off in traffic, you spared a fraction of a second to marvel at the incomprehensible series of steps that had to happen to get from a single-celled organism to that aggressive driver. Might it make you just the tiniest bit more forgiving? And if you saw a sunset or a beautiful flower, or you shared a meaningful moment with someone you loved, might you want to linger just a little while longer, knowing that if you don't stop and notice it, there might not be anyone else across time or space who ever would. This is the religious project, to try and adjust our thinking to a scale that might change our behavior. Morning, noon, and night, we are called to be witnesses to oneness, to marvel at the mystery of our own existence. God and the universe here are synonymous, something so grand as to exist fully beyond our comprehension. And our job is not only to see, but to acknowledge, to take note of, and to try and understand or appreciate that vastness. When we fail to strive to think on this scale, we fail to live up to our fullest potential. We diminish ourselves and God in the process. I cannot imagine any but the most ascetic religious orders or the most brilliant scientific minds that can think on this scale all or even most of the time. But we can try, from time to time, to elevate our consciousness. Perhaps this is what we are here to do tonight. Prayer's power lies in its ability to get us to think on new scales. The Avot Ve'imahot calls us to think of ourselves in a family story that lasts thousands of years. The Osei Shalom asks us to imagine a peace that exists in heavens and extends down to the earth. Prayer functions like Alice's potion and cake. It's a tool to make us feel small so that we can know just how singular and big our impact can be. Prayer, like the Fermi paradox, can remind us that we are the smallest specks in the history of creation and empower us to marvel at our own ability to understand that. May this Shabbat be a Shabbat of peace. Not the peace that comes from avoiding the difficult mysteries of life, but the peace that comes from embracing them. May today and every day be an opportunity to bear witness to all that is good and hopeful about this world, and may we be called to fight fiercely for our continued existence. And may you never forget that you are God and the universe's best hope for knowing their complexity, and may this knowing bring blessing to you and the world. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to continue this evening with Aleinu L'Shabeach, which can be found at the bottom of page 282, and invite you please to rise.
Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, Latei Gedula Leotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kegoye Haratzot, Velo Samanu Kemishpechot Ha'adama, Shelo Sam Chelkeinu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Bottom of page 291. There are stars up above. So far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with the people we have loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, and the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Our hearts go out in sympathy to the families of Richard Plum, Edwin Howard, and Ronald Sachs, who were laid to rest this past week. We also recall the yard sites of Alan M. Aronson, Stephen Lewis Adler, David Altshuler, Barbara Amder, Sandy Arriaga, Roy M. Baker, Norman Baskin, Vernon Bleeker, Adele Brown, Max Clarefield, Edwin Coben, Stephen Cohen, Hyman Cohen, Deborah Leah Cohen, Ruth Kaminsky, Zelda Kovan, Joe Darsky, Ann Daddle, Ruth Davidson, Samuel Solomon Davidson, Harry Davis, Annie Engler, Milton Fetter, Louis Fishkind, Rose Fleischer, Gerard Ford, Rosalind Ross, Gordon Gates, Esther Goldie Gamache, Milton Gardner, Diane Gelbrand, Fred M. Gerson, Irving Ook Gerson, Thomas Gleason, Louis Goldfaden, Aaron Gordon, Libby Zion Greenfeld, Leo H. Gross, Henry Grossman, Meyer Handelman, Joe Harris, David Henderson, Isaac J. Hirsch, Randy Holst, Barry Holst, William Hudson, Rebecca G. Hubbard, Bessie Jacobson, Jeannie Joachim, Esther Kaplan, Estelle Kastelman, Gus Kaufman, Norman Keene, Lenore Kessler, Akeem Kogan, Frida Kopernik, Sanford Leichen, Mark Lenski, Judith Lepon, Louis Lerman, Ralph Cohen Levine, Tilly E. Lipman, Veronica Lopez, Nathan Loshak, Rita Lowenberg, Jeannie Malikoff, Deborah Ann Furstenfeld Mark, Sarah May, Seymour May, Dora Mayer, Cecile Selzer Mellon, Henry Mendel, Leon Mendelovitz, Frida Milner, Carol Bayer Mursky, Martin Perlman, Harris Pessis, Philip Quito, Jeannie Radoff, Al Rode, Jack Y. Richmond, Charles Chibi Rose, Ruth L. Rosen, Jean Rothenberg, David Rothman, Rabbi Robert Samuels, Marcia Atlas Shatton, Rosalie Moskowitz Schlamy, Ruth Schneider, Jean F. Schneider, Benjamin Aaron Schultz, Sidney Schwarzenfeld, Murray Seiden, Uri Levy Selig, Louis Schulak, Jacques C. Schur, Betty Silverman, Anthony Spiro, Hedwig Stern, Edna Stevens, A.W. Teller, Ben Wadler, Mary Shuckman Wagner, Anita Weinstein, Edith Callis Westerman, Pearl Wolfert, and Shura Yelisevich. If there are others who you're remembering on this Shabbat, or if I've misspoken any of the names on the list, I invite you to please share those names as my eyes meet yours. The words of Mourner's Kaddish are found on page 294. We rise together as one community for these words of sacred memory. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma tivrach chirutei ve'al michma chutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'v'zman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam omei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitbamam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brichu le'ela mimkol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'ne'emata da'amiran be'ama v'imru amen Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen.
Say shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen.
You may be seated as we continue with Kiddush, which can be found on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu B'Shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu Zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim Ki banu bacharta ve'otanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Blows their mind every week. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Our closing song is Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu this evening.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam, salam, Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, 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 Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Kiva moed, Kiva moed, Kiva moed, Kiva moed. Here's the hard part. Yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai.
Makor Chayenu, source of our lives, source of everything, may we bear witness to you, to the wonder and grandeur of this universe, to the uniqueness that fills it, and to our unique and holy opportunity to make you holy by noticing. May we find and celebrate the many blessings in our lives. As we say together, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.